Now, Eyewitness Sports.
Welcome to Double OT with Ruthie Polinsky. I'm Yanni Karakis. It's been a minute again, but we're back. Lots to talk about. Pat's mini camp underway. We've got some Sox. We've got some LeBron and Celtics chatter. What are we beginning with?
We are beginning. I'm in charge of first question.
Hey,
Question number one.
First question.
All right, first question. Obviously, Patriots minicamp underway, day 2. You just got back. You're getting tan already from being outside so much.
Well, you know, after we do our video and interviewing, we sit on the hill and watch football.
In the sun.
In the sun. It's a
great
day.
It's a great day. I love it.
It's great.
Minicamp, training camp, it's all fun.
Yeah.
Today they had some what?
I should have applied. Some suntan lotion. I didn't get burned.
No, you didn't get burned, but you're just already like.
All right,
brown.
mini camp reactions this far.
Yeah.
I think this is going to tie into our next question. But with Brady on the field, my biggest takeaway is I was at OTAs last week or end of May, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And without Brady and Gronk out there, the team just has no identity. Your eyes don't really know where to go on the football field. Like when Tom Brady's out there, you're just glued to him and the offense, and he has a certain pace and a certain rhythm and a certain energy that makes the offense go. And when he was out there today, it was like nothing ever happened. The offense was moving. He's throwing to Edelman. He's throwing to Gronk. He's throwing to James White. The music was going today, and it just felt like everything was fine again. And there's a lot of minutes and hours to fill on radio airwaves and TV, and everyone's talking about where was Brady and Gronk. And I still think it was a big deal that they weren't in OTAs. But now that they're on the football field and you're there and you're just watching the football, it's like it is in that building. All the outside noise goes away, and it's just a football practice.
Right.
And they're a good team, and they're probably a favorite to get back to the Super Bowl. And it just is focused on football. I know you were there yesterday, and you can probably speak to this more about it being their first day back. But even a day later now, almost that was old news.
Right.
And it's just like, all right, back to football.
That was what I was that literally just took the words out of my mouth. In terms of yesterday, when I was there were probably 100 media members there. Boston stations had their news crews there and 2 sports cameras, and everyone's excited to see Brady and Gronk. And then you're there for camp and practice starts, and you're just like, okay, we're just watching Brady and Gronk back and doing what they do. And it was kind of funny yesterday when Brady and Gronk, it was the big return, and I was very close to Gronk during practice at one portion. And Kenny Britt is like, man, so good to see you. Like they had like a reunite, it was kind of clear that he hadn't been there, but how big of a deal is it to the players? I don't know, which is obviously, again, tying into our next question. Should we just bridge into it right now?
Yeah.
Because I have more I want to say on that in terms of, was their absence overblown? My answer to this question is no, it was not overblown. I think it's a big deal. I think both of them were sending messages to the team and to the public about where they stand in their football careers. And Gronk fully said to the media yesterday, yeah, I do want a new contract. And someone asked, do you hope to get it done, taken care of by the end of camp before the season starts? And he said, wouldn't you? So what I appreciated about Gronk's media availability yesterday, as big of a goofball as he is, he kind of just shut us all up. Everyone's like, was retirement in your mind during during this time that you were over the summer when we were getting these vague tweets? And he said, yeah, it was definitely in my mind. I had to take some time, figure out where my mind was, where my body was. And I really appreciated him doing that. I think it's time for Tom Brady to come out and just shut us all up, because once he does that, we're just going to be talking football again.
Tom Brady is the most talented interviewee in recent memory at deflecting questions. I mean, he went through Deflategate, for crying out loud. He had a sever in his hand last year, and he was
able to avoid it.
We weren't able to sniff out that until after the fact. So I agree. I think Tom Brady should speak tomorrow and answer all the questions. Likely he won't. Maybe not till training camp. It was a big deal. It's a big deal in the hierarchy, power play, ego deal with Brady, Belichick, Kraft. I think Gronk's is a little bit different. He wants a new contract. He kind of has the I'll retire leverage. Brady's has to do with Guerrero, but Gronk also trains with Guerrero. So obviously it was the first time in Brady's career that he really drew a line in the sand and said, I'm not doing this because I'm sticking to my principle that I want my guy here, or I'm underpaid, or I'm sick of Bill riding me so hard, whatever it may be. So I don't think it was overblown. Come September, October, November, as the season's going on, are we going to look back and say, you know what, because they missed those OTAs, they're struggling now? Probably not. It would be an easy excuse if they're playing poorly to relate it to that, but I don't think that's necessarily fair.
What we are going to be able to say is, oh, remember when Brady and Gronk missed OTAs? Maybe they're not as dedicated. Maybe that's why they're not playing well. That's an easy excuse.
And they're allowing us to say that because they didn't show up.
Right. 100%.
For the first time.
100%. And not to mention, Tom Brady, you're 41. You're going to be 41 this summer. So, like, people aren't going to be looking at that. They're going to be saying,
right,
you weren't at OTAs. Going back to the last question, because I just thought of something that I wanted to touch on, big takeaways. Something from day one of mini. I think there was a similar. I was just reading on Twitter today. Maybe you can touch on what happened today. But yesterday, on Tuesday, day one of minicamp, I saw a side of Patriot practice that was really exciting and fun for me to see. Well, first of all, Gronk made this spectacular catch in double coverage, in the end zone. Amazing catch. Screaming Gronk spike. He was just fired up, which I loved. And originally, I was like, that's amazing. It was day one of minicamp, and they're fired up. Gronk is having a blast.
Yeah.
It was so good to see. Then I was like, wow, that's maybe one of the coolest things I've seen that close up. It was just happened right in front of me. And then maybe 5-10 minutes later, I was sitting with Nick Coy from Channel 6, and we were loving this. But someone must have jumped off sides or something in a play they were running, and Bill Belichick. I was sitting on top of that hill, where we sit. Bill Belichick screamed horrible language, really cursing, screaming at his team, said, "Everybody run!" And that whole entire offense ran around the field. This is day one of minicamp, and I was just having a moment this is the real deal here. The Patriot. This is what you see day one of minicamp, and I'm still kind of just
newish,
sucking it all, embracing it.
Right.
And so that was really cool for me because I wasn't here for minicamp last year. So I came in training camp. So that was really exciting for me to see. Just an appreciation for how the system works, kind of the little things that people don't see.
Yeah.
Minicamp.
Well, because after training camp, during the season, we don't get to go in for the good part of practice, mostly just stretching. Yeah, I thought there was good energy. Gronk was getting super excited today. Brady was a little bit vocal. Yeah, they were excited to be out there. And
it's just cool to see
on
the nuts
offense,
and bolts.
I think they have a lot of weapons. I'm a little worried about, if we're going to talk X and O's for a second, the line. I mean, if Tom Brady's left side is completely different, they have the big guy Trent Brown from the Niners out there. Isaiah Wynn's a rookie. Who
I heard got in trouble today. Both of them got in trouble today. I heard something on
and then on defense, this is a team who gave up 500 yards in the Super Bowl. Are they going to be better?
Right.
I hope so.
Who'd you add? Jason McCourty?
Jason McCourty.
Got rid of?
Adrian Claiborne will be good. What else did they do? They drafted the cornerback out of Florida.
You said Stephon Gilmore looked good today.
Yeah, I thought he looked good.
He was obviously
still not enough pass rushers. You hope that Dietrich Wise makes the jump, and that Trey Flowers makes the jump, and they just become these sort of Pro Bowl type players. But,
sure. All right, we're going heavy on Pats.
What's up next?
Oh, it's my question? I think we're going Celtics. Yeah, we are. So all this rumbling today, and it all started with Stephen A. Smith. With
LeBron James.
Stephen A. Smith, I guess, spoke to LeBron about teams that he's considering.
I don't even know if he spoke to LeBron. Did he speak to him? He just spoke
to LeBron's people. Who knows?
I don't even know if it was a report. He was speaking freely, saying
LeBron's
he named one of the places: L.A., Houston, Philly, and Boston.
So the question is, should the Celtics go after LeBron?
The answer is, from an organizational standpoint, 100% yes. He's the greatest player in the game right now, and I understand he's 33 years old. But he guarantees you a spot in the finals, A, because you don't have to go through him, and then B, he joins your team that is already stacked. It gets dicey in a couple different areas. As a fan, I don't want LeBron, right? Because he's been Boston fans. He's been the enemy all along. You want to beat him. You want to go through him. You don't want to join him, right? And you get him in the twilight of his career. It's like the Red Sox used to do this all the time. They would get all these players like Jose Canseco and David Cone and Brett Saberhagen on the back end of their careers. This is far different because it's LeBron James, but it seems dirty. Like, oh, we're going to get LeBron James and have him come to Boston after he's been our enemy for the last 15 years. But back to this, basketball standpoint, organizationally, you bring him in. If that means Kyrie and he can't exist, Kyrie bounces. You have LeBron, Jalen, Tatum, the rest of the crew. Horford and Hayward, someone, to make the money work, someone has to leave.
Right.
A max guy. So
Right.
either Horford, Hayward, Kyrie. And you have this 4-year window. And then if LeBron leaves, you still have Tatum and Brown. So 100% you do that. If you ask me Kyrie for LeBron straight up today, LeBron. I understand that Kyrie's 8 years younger. He's 25 years old. He's got bad knees, and LeBron's the best player on the planet.
I see where you're coming from. Let me play. I understand. Let me play devil's advocate here, because you get LeBron James, or you get Brad Stevens' system.
I like
That
this point.
is,
That's a good
this is
point.
my argument
This is a
for
good
this.
point.
Because if you have LeBron James on your team,
Yes.
he is your coach. He runs the show. It's his way or the highway. Brad Stevens is the brilliance behind what the Celtics were this year. This young, unselfish team where you spread the ball around, and you have really huge impact guys that are coming out of the woodwork in the postseason. You're not going to have that if LeBron James is on your team. Brad Stevens is going to have to go into the shadow of LeBron James. So this is my argument to that, because I just cannot imagine a world where we get to see a Jason Tatum Boston Celtics team, which I think is what a lot of Boston fans want to see, the future of this Celtics team. How much longer is LeBron going to play?
How does that impact Tatum, though?
You're right. Well, I'm just saying Jason Tatum, I think that if LeBron comes to the Celtics,
just takes
he
over.
he won't help flourish Jason Tatum. He won't help.
But on the basketball court, he's an unselfish player.
He is. But he runs the show.
I think the issue is everywhere he's been, Cleveland, even Miami, even though Pat Riley kind of ran the show, he's been in charge. He decided which players came.
Why did Kyrie want to leave?
So
Kyrie
that's a good
wanted
point.
to leave.
So the only way it works is if you're going to get a LeBron that will be willing to be coached, to buy into the program from Brad Stevens. And maybe LeBron James is craving some coaching because he's never really had good ones. I mean, Eric Spoelstra was okay, but I don't think Ty Lue's necessarily a great coach.
I think
this isn't going to happen. This is not going to happen. It's just fun to talk about.
It is fun to talk about.
I'm on the record saying you 100% go after LeBron, even at his advanced age.
I disagree.
It's tenuous, though.
It is scary.
And I heard this today on the radio. It's a good point. Is the Celtics taking a meeting disrespectful to Kyrie? Because they brought him here last summer. He and LeBron had this breakup. Are you now kind of cheating on Kyrie? Kyrie, we kind of look like
And
LeBron.
Kyrie has made it very clear that he likes Boston, wants to be here for a long time. Right? I mean,
it's almost like you only take
the
the meeting if you know you can get him. Wherever
LeBron goes, I guess Philly is kind of scary for the Celtics. But if LeBron comes to the Celtics, what do you really need him? You were minutes away from the NBA Finals without your two best
Cavaliers
players.
Team, though. You're right. I think getting Hayward and Kyrie back there, they would beat the Cavs next year. With status quo
with
Cavs.
what the Cavs are
but
right
we
now.
don't know what they're going to be next year if LeBron's back, if he goes to the West. It's fascinating.
It's fascinating.
It shows
scary.
you how far the Celtics have come because they've never been a destination, really, with the exception of Kevin Garnett and then all these years later, Al Horford. But Horford's kind of a B-list.
I think it's a compliment also to what the Celtics have built. The fact that if that is in LeBron's consideration, that he would want to play with those guys. He clearly enjoyed. He liked what he saw when they.
And maybe LeBron's like, I'm sick of making decisions and running the show. I would love a great coach. I would love not to have to score 35 points a night, and a GM who makes and brings in the right players. That I don't have to tell them what to do.
I just don't see that dude fitting in with.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. So, all right, we wrap up with the Red Sox. All right, they are on pace. They're at their highest win percentage deep into the season in a long time. With some injuries right now with Mookie and Pedroia, Hanley's gone. Can they keep up this pace? Is the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they can. I mean, are they going to have their roller coaster of a season? I think yes, they will. It was concerning that 2 days after Hanley was gone, those two players are back on the DL with Mookie and Pedroia, and obviously they got rid of Hanley to make room for Pedroia, so that was a little frustrating from a fan's perspective. But can they keep this up? I think they have a good, there are obviously issues in this Red Sox team, but I think they have a good foundation to compete with the Yankees for the division. I think they have, yeah.
And Stephen Wright at a spot start, the knuckleballer, 7 scoreless innings, was fantastic.
Amazing.
Pomeranz has stunk the whole year. So if Wright could come in and be that starter, and you generally know where you're getting out of Sale, and Price has pitched well. I think he's won 4 or 5 straight starts.
He's all right.
The offense has been pretty consistent. It's kind of like, obviously, JD has been unbelievable.
Amazing.
MVP
Can't say enough about that
Leads
guy.
the league in home runs and RBI. He and Betts are MVP candidates. And then Xander, Benintendi, like the lineup, there aren't easy outs in it.
Right.
So do I think they're going to keep up the pace they're on? No, but they'll win 95 games and make the playoffs. But they were hot to start the year. They won, 16 in a row at some point?
Yeah.
Then they cooled off. Now they're getting hot. It's like ebbs and flows of the season.
Right, of course. And you're going to have your complaints about the pitching and the bullpen. And but like we're obviously coming off a great performance last night, so your mind changes as the games go. But who's on the mound tonight?
I don't know.
Rodriguez.
Erod? Okay.
So he's been great. I was just like prepping for my 6 o'clock, and the Red Sox are 10-1 when he wins, or when he's on the mound. So he's been, kind of the consistent, mid rotation kind of guy. So I mean, it's still early. It still feels early. Until it's after the All-Star break, you can't really.
Like 60-something games
if this Pedroia thing is going to be a situation, which it probably is going to be, where he's not.
They were fine without.
They were fine without him.
I asked Fryer this the other day. Do they need Dawson Pedroia? No. It'd be nice to have him. They don't need him. They're not gonna sync without him.
I hope Mookie's okay. They need Mookie.
Yeah, they kind of managed that weirdly. It was supposed to be 2-3 days, and then it was DL stint, which we didn't think. They rushed Pedroia back, so.
Right. Or Pedroia rushed himself back.
Yeah, because he's like a little dog with a bone. Like, I want back in. I want back in.
On that note, I think we're good.
All right, that'll do it for Double OT. Still waiting on that iTunes update. Catch us on WPR.com, on social media, at Yanni Crocus, at Ruthie Polinsky. We will see you next time.